Homelander is now a god. And I mean that 100%. He's literally become immortal thanks the composure he got from Soldier Boy. Now, this is the ultimate threat. This practically indestructible, all-powerful being supreme in power, strength, and speed is now the absolute ruler of the planet. His words is law. His wishes are his commands. And honestly, he is here to control and destroy everything, driving his own psychosis, trauma, and madness. Come on, guys. I can't keep a straight face doing this. Guys, the truth is, you all know the show went completely off the rails. It's like soap opera. But when it's come to the boss, I think it had just become a soap opera. That's the real problem. I mean, they wanted to turn it literally into dark comedy, but it's soap opera style, but it's lost what I used to love about it. The perfect mix of seriousness, logic, and cynical mockery of the entire superhero genre. But now it's not just about the satire anymore. It's openly pushed the ideology of the show creator, Eric Kripke, and the whole creative team. So basically, they aren't just giving you a dark, raw, and clever parody of the genre. They are also selling you their own political views and mindset. And they don't even do it through artistic sci-fi famously woven into the story. Instead, they do it blatantly. If they want to mock religion, they do it. If they want to mock Jesus Christ, they do it. If they want to mock Trump, they do it. It has pretty much become a political pamphlet reflecting the view of creator and the writers. And is that exactly what I believe the boy has completely lost its edge? Let me know in the comment, what do you think? So let's talk about the good and the bad of these 2 episodes leading out to the big finale. First off, expanding on my previous point, honestly, I feel like the creator just said, you know what, we're never making another TV show or media product again in our life. We know we completely messed up, so let's just spread ourselves. Say whatever we want and do it however we want, They are ignoring what the fan and the show itself actually need to deliver a high quality product. Seriously, it's feel like a soap opera joke. And sorry that I insist in this, but that is what I feel. But in live action, it's completely irreversible at this point, But what is the most frustrating part? Because honestly, everything I mentioned so far is stuff everyone already knows. I know breaking any ground here. The real issue is that, especially in the first 2 episodes and these last 2 episodes, they prove they, things right and how to build a solid episode. I mean, the first 2 episodes were epic. And, in these last episodes where they go to hand over the bee to Homelander and visit the retirement home, they really only one ridiculous scene in that whole segment. And is the retirement home fight. The fighting with the power of the old man. And once again, Mother Mill just fighting with this old man power, with his bull. And Mother Mill always fight with this kind of soups is super healers, and totally ridiculous. But here the point was just a moment. In fact, there's a moment where Homelander actually respects this retired hero and spare him, or retired suit, whatever, He's one of the very few characters who have survived him. So the writer do know how to structure an episode, tell a story, and make something impactful. Sure, if we look at the season overall, there are a lot of filler, a lot of nonsense, and random subplots. Fair enough. But at the end, we get Frenchie's death. Now, I know a lot of people it felt a bit meh, didn't add much, and right now this point of the story, but honestly, it was a massive moment. It was a highly dramatic and carried a lot of emotional weight for me. But I don't know. I mean, that was a total wow. A really important moment after so much filler. I actually enjoyed that heavy scene saying goodbye at this character made me realize I can't believe it. It's sad, to think we won't see them anymore, and even sadder that this is how it ends for the most of them. It's pretty tragic, right? I mean, it completely cut through all the stupidity and nonsense I was watching and brought me right back to reality. Like, this is the end. And it hit really hard. But what's my point here? My point is that they basically know how to make this episode. They know how to make a great series. They just actually made the shows, not to. Take Franch's death, for example. In the comics, the entire team dies in a very fast, sudden way. I mean, Kimiko, Francis, Mother Mill, they almost die at the same time, and it was brutal blow for the character, the story, and the reader. But if you already decide to do things, a bit different for the show, why not make even better? Imagine if they had dedicated a specific episode to each character downfall. Kimiko in one, Franchi in another, and so on. Building up the tension over, 5 or 6 episodes. Can you imagine how a massive and heavy that dramatic way would have been for the audience? And that, is the real issue. They choose to give it us just 2 good episodes at the beginning, as everyone usually expects from the boys, and then leave the good stuff for the very end. Everything in between was just them dancing, saying whatever they felt like, and forcing the social commentary even when it didn't fit the plot at all. A great seriously are basically being turned into a meme. And look, maybe you don't see it that way, but it at least my take on what happened. It honestly feels like the writer thought they never get to make another show again, as if this was their one and only shot to scream their truth to the world. Now, whether you agree with the showrunner and writer the ideology or not, it's a different story. But as a critic of the storyline, it just falls flat. I don't know. What do you think, guys? It's just me or what? Anyway, I probably make another video about this because social commentary is still heavily dominating modern production. It's like we're analyzing a modern audience here, for example, but honestly, this season felt like an excuse for the writer to vent their political views and social critique, completely ignoring whether the plot actually made sense. They just gave us a means and no sense until the very end. Sure, they surprised us with that finale poster which directly referenced the comic. And look, I never cared that the show wasn't, a one-to-one adaptation, but it should have at least kept the original sense and the spirit. Sadly, even that got lost. So what do you think of these last 2 episodes of The Boys? Let me know in the comments. Personally, I considering the circumstances and the fact that it finally took itself somewhat seriously, I give it the previous episodes a 6 out of 10. And this latest one, with Franch's death, a solid 10 out of 10. Let's see if we actually get decent finale. A lot of people are saying it's impossible to wrap up all the open subplots in just 1 hour. But to me, that is, that's absurd. There are not another subplot left. Everything else has been completely ignored or without relevance here. The only thing that actually matters right now is Homelander fate. That's it. It's incredibly simple. Kill stuff, however need to die, wrap up the mind conflict, and let end the boys as decently as possible. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to subscribe. We got plenty of content coming up, including the deep dive into, The Mandalorian, the movie right now, Devil May Cry show season 2, and of course my previous review of Daredevil Invincible, the last episode of The Boys. A lot of content here, guys. Do you want to miss it? Remember to subscribe and see you there. See you.